You never marry the right person.
Hey guys, welcome back
Bibbies.
to our channel.
We're gonna pump this up a little bit. Pump it up. Pump it, jam. Welcome. Welcome back to our channel. I'm Tori, this is Chad, and we're happy you're here.
We are happy.
Baby,
you're
take
here.
it from the top.
Let's take it from the top. The top is...
It's like a cheerleader thing. You clap, and let's take it from the top. So babe, the people have asked, they wanna know, do you believe that there's one person for you? And if so, how do you find this person? How do you find them, huh? Tell them how you found them.
Okay, y'all, I don't know if you're gonna like my answer or not, but this is just what I believe. I don't necessarily believe that there is one person on the planet for you. But the empowering thing about this is you get to choose who your one is. Like when I chose Chad, he became the one for me, you know? And so I just think that there's this pressure and a stress on finding the one. And I think that once you choose that person, they become the one for you. And that should be what's in your mind. I think there's this huge pressure just in terms of society and pop culture, and they put such an emphasis on chemistry and feelings and not enough on commitment and what marriage actually looks like. And people change, we change, and so commitment is what keeps you. And I also get this question a lot. This randomly just came to my mind, but a lot of you DM me on Instagram and you ask how important it is to marry someone of the same faith. And the reason I believe it is so important for that to be a non-negotiable is it might be great when you're dating. You might not go through hardship and all these things, but we are promised to go through hardship in life, and you have to have someone, you have to choose someone who, when times get tough, you can rely on your faith. You can go to battle in prayer with each other. And I think it's really important to keep that in mind and have a healthy view of what marriage actually even is before you walk into it with someone.
So you would say them being of the same faith is a non-negotiable?
100%. Yeah. Something else I do, I know I just mentioned non-negotiable, but I actually make all of my friends write out an entire list of non-negotiables, and then I make them sign it and send me a picture. So if y'all want to do that and send me a picture on Instagram and a DM, I would love to see what is on your list.
But you have to give an example of, like, if I were watching, I would be like,
what's on the list?
What do you put on this thing?
Things on the list are, how does he treat his mom? I want him to treat his mother well. I want him to prioritize his relationship with God. What does his private life look like? Do I see him spending time with God more than just going to church on a Sunday? That's really important, because I always put it in kind of this term. It's like, if I were just to eat breakfast on Sunday morning and not eat for the rest of the week, I would starve. And it's the same thing spiritually. And so a daily relationship with the Lord is so vital to how you survive. And it's also how your marriage is gonna thrive. Because I definitely notice if I am not filled up by the Lord, we're gonna be off, because I put too much expectation on him to fill me and make me happy and all of these things when I'm not getting that from God. And when I am getting it from God, there's way less expectation on him, and we tend to operate a lot better. So for me, I like to focus on character traits, not like physical attributes, and not even necessarily how he makes me feel all the time, but who is he? Like, who is he to his core? Like, what does he believe? How does he treat people? How does he treat his family? You know, like that stuff really matters. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I still wanna wake up next to him and look at his cute face 40 years from now, you know? So it's not that looks don't matter at all. You want to love and be attracted to the person you choose, but that can't be everything, because looks fade, wrinkles come, they're already coming, they're there, they've arrived on my forehead. Something else I really think is important is just to be very aware of where you're getting your actual definition of what marriage is, because I think it's gonna really change, like when it comes to choosing your person. What does marriage look like for you? Is marriage something that society says, well, you might as well just try it, you can always get a divorce, you know, and it's just this lackadaisical view of what marriage actually looks like.
Or society tells you that what's the point in getting married, you're gonna live together and have kids anyways.
Yeah.
You know, society will tell you a lot of crazy things.
Yeah.
And so it's really, if you are a Christian, you are a believer in Christ, and you believe in marriage, then it's really important to get down to, okay, how did God design marriage and what was his purpose for marriage?
Yeah. When things get hard and maybe you're feeling isn't there, then you go back to, I love God so much and I made a commitment under him, and that's why I'm gonna push through and stay. And so I think that's why foundationally that just has to be there for a marriage to thrive and make it through the test of time. I'm very passionate about being careful to put chemistry over commitment instead of commitment over chemistry, because things change, things evolve. You have off days and your feelings might not be there, but commitment is gonna remain. And when that commitment is under God, it's just gonna take it to another level.
Yeah, I was straight up preaching to a friend the other day on the phone, and Tori was sitting right next to me, and I remember saying, don't let your romance get in the way of your relationship. And I'm all about romance. If you saw the birthday video that I did for her, like, you see the romance is there, the care is there, but I'm not gonna let that get in the way of our actual relationship. You know, I think Rich Wilkerson said, and I said this in another video, that what keeps you at 25 and 30 will not keep you at 55 and 60, and that's okay. Because people change, relationships evolve, they get better, they get deeper, you know. If you're still grabbing someone's hand and you've been together for 30 years and you're getting butterflies, that's kind of weird, because butterflies are actually chemicals being released in your brain that are basically saying, oh, I got this person interested in me, or I can't believe they're in, you know, it's a chemical reaction. And if you're having those chemical reactions, then maybe you're not in a truly unconditional relationship, because what I feel when I hold Tori's hand is peace. I just feel comfortable. I feel comfort. I feel loved. I don't feel nervous. You know, I feel zero nerves around her. And she's helped me feel that because of the way that she's loved me. If you had to give, like, and I'm putting you on the spot. This is totally on the spot. If you had to give 3 tips for someone and how to choose the one, what are some things that you think are important? These don't need to be the end-all be-all tips, but just ones that are important. Like, for example, where to look for someone.
I've said this probably in a previous video, but if you are looking for a godly Christian man who is going to love you well, you should probably look for him in places that you're gonna wanna see him in when you're married.
Yeah.
Looking for him at 2 a.m. during your rager while he's wasted, you know?
And really pay attention to the way a guy or girl treats you. Like, for example, if you're a girl and a guy hits you up after 11 p.m. and he says, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, we can probably say that he's not looking to respect you.
Yeah.
You never know. He could need some consoling. He could just want to encourage you. May want to pray for you. Who knows? Maybe want to lay hands on you. You got to be careful with that one. Lord Jesus. But no, you know, and so you have to try to be as perceptive as possible to who this person is actually telling you they are, because they tell you. We've talked about that in another video, but people will tell you exactly who they are. You know, there are definitely areas, geographical areas, as long as with spiritual areas, that are a little bit more safe to look for a spouse and to help you choose the one.
And I would really, you know, I love to say, like, look for character traits that really compliment you, because I love Chad, but he doesn't complete me, he compliments me. We're better
so
together.
Pretty. That's a compliment.
Like I said, pop culture, it's like, oh, he completes me. And I'm like, well, were you only half of a person before?
That's
and our battery's gonna die. Yay!
Oh man.
I freeze under pressure.
This is where we compliment each other, because I don't freeze under pressure. I feel like I thrive under pressure.
Baby, you better hurry.
So I have some stuff I'm gonna say. We're gonna pause this and charge the battery just for like 5 minutes, and I'll come in and give my half of it, because Tori gave you advice on how to choose the one, and I'm gonna give you some, I'm gonna play devil's advocate, or I like to say heaven's advocate. And so, yeah.
Sounds good.
We'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
I feel like we were only apart for like a second. Wow. Time flies when you're charging your batteries.
When you're making matcha.
So I'm just gonna try to wrap this up and put it on a neat little bow and share another perspective to this whole question of the one. And I think the first thing I want to say is I want to give so much importance and value to what Tori was saying. I feel like as Christians, we are meant to live in between two tensions, you know, the already not yet. If you don't know what that means, I'll try to explain it really quickly, but already not yet means that heaven is already established, but it's not yet here. And so that's the tensions that we live in. And so just think of the coronavirus, for example, right now. You know, Christians, we have a great hope and we're expectant for what life is going to be with God for eternity. But yet right now it's on earth, it's pretty crappy. And so we can have faith and hope and trust, and we can not fear, well, we can live a life without fear of this coronavirus. However, we have such a high value and regard for humanity that we should have the greatest empathy for those being affected by this, which is everyone, by the way. And so we live in those two tensions where we don't have fear, we're not scared of this thing, but we have a great empathy and care for the people being affected by it. And it's the same thing with the one and relationships. And so, what was I gonna say, Babies?
You have it all written down,
I have it written down. Oh man.
Asking me what he's gonna say.
Babies, I got nervous. Baby, I want some of the matchas.
You do?
I need a little pick-me-up.
He hates
I don't like
matcha.
I don't hate it. I don't hate that. That's not fair. I don't hate it. I'm just like, I'm not a matcha guy, you know? I do think we're a great matcha. Anyone?
Cheese ball.
So Tori's side of the balancing the two tensions is a great perspective, and I want to share another perspective. You never marry the right person. And that may freak a lot of people out. That may be an unpopular opinion. But the thing is your spouse is always going to be changing. Tori will be different next year, and she'll be different the following year. She'll be different whenever she's a mother. She'll be different as she changes careers. And so if you're putting all your weight on the person for who they are right now, that's setting yourself up for failure because they're going to change. And so a lot of what I want to quickly talk about is, are you loving this person for who they are and what they do for you? Or are you loving this person, your potential spouse, for who you are and how you want to serve them? Because the last time I checked, the Son of Man came to serve and to not be served. And it says, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church. I know the church has not been faithful to Christ. Does Christ still love and serve the church? Yes, he does. And so, like, I've always heard pastors say that God would say to you, so God would be saying this to you right now, it's that I love you because I love you, because I love you, because I love you. And it has nothing to do with you earning it. Now, granted, you need to be on that tension where you're looking for those good attributes and those great characteristics. But there's the other side of it is, are you marrying someone for what they offer you or what you offer them? Because guess what? What if you're with someone because of one of your non-negotiables is they work really hard? You know, that's a great attribute. What happens if something happens and they can't work hard? Can you now unlove them? Or if you're a guy and you are with a girl because she's really, really pretty, you know what I mean? What happens if she's not that way anymore? What happens if something happens or she gets older? Like, looks fade, they really do. Can you now not love her? You know, and so what is your love and commitment contingent on? And so I'm a big believer to not let the romance get in the way of the relationship.
Babies, why was I the one for you?
She hates this question and the way I answer it. One time she asked me, baby, why do you love me? And I responded to her and I said, I love you because of my character. And she's like, what? And I'm like, I love you because I love you. And I knew what she wanted. She wanted me to point out great attributes or characteristics that she has. And she has like 14,000 pages of them. I could talk days and months on my wife. However, I wasn't gonna allow her for a second to think that my love for her is only contingent on those things. Now, there's things I absolutely love about her, and I can name those, but I love her because I love her, because I've chosen to love her. And that even as she changes and things adapt and we go through troubles, I'm gonna choose to love you because I'm choosing to love you, because that's who I am. And so no matter what happens in you and through you, I'm still gonna be a stable, consistent conduit of love to you. And so
that is very sweet.
We gotta go. Just kidding. But yeah, so all in all, Tori and I both believe it's so important to walk that tightrope, to look for a spouse, to look for the one, and as you choose that person and they actually do become the one, don't let your eyeball on them get so caught up on what they're doing for you and who they are that you lose track of how you should be serving them. Because after all, I think the way our marriage has worked just thus far, remember it's only been a year, but I try to serve Tori and try to supply her needs, and she does the same thing for me. And it works that well because now both of our needs are met, but it's not only Tori serving me or only me serving her. And so marriage looks so different than what we thought it was gonna look like. And
I will also say something that I did have on my non-negotiables list was a servant's heart. And so I think that was...
Did you have drop dead sexy too, bebes?
Oh, bebes, our battery's gonna die again, so we're gonna say goodbye. But if you have any other video requests, leave them in the comments below or DM us on Instagram. We're definitely more active on Instagram in terms of messaging. So we love you guys. We love hearing from you.
We'll see you later.
Thanks for loving on us on this channel. It means the world. Y'all are the best. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notifications bell. Okay, bye.
Arrivederci.
Where did that even come from?
We'll see you later.